Hello, Alana. We have beautiful
Hi.
Alana here with us today from Adelaide. She was the first person to become a licensee of performability. And since doing our course, she has gone on to do awesome things. She's opened her own business, All Abilities Cheer and Dance. She's had students extremely successful at competitions and performances last year. And she had her very first big annual concert. So welcome, Alana. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
So
Thanks
can
for
you
having
tell
me.
us, yeah, of course. Can you tell us all a little bit about yourself, maybe a fun fact and how old you are?
Sure. I have two fun facts.
Okay,
So my first fun fact is I performed in Disneyland in California when I was 18,
amazing.
and I'm now 27.
Okay,
Pretty old.
not
And
old.
my second fun fact is I have two brothers with a disability. So one has autism and the other brother has autism and intellectual disability.
Okay, so I guess that kind of brings me into my second question, but what interested you in the first place to take the performability course? Was it your brothers?
Yes, well, I mean, that's one part of it. Yes. So I obviously grew up with two brothers with a disability. They are both, one is 22 and one's 25. So we're quite close in age. So I've grown up most of my life
Yeah, very close.
around disability, and I've grown up dancing as well. So I decided to put the two together, and there wasn't anything in Adelaide. So that offered anything like that. So, I just did a quick Google search on the internet and came across performability, and everything that it was about just aligned with my values and what I wanted to do. So I looked into it further, and then I met you.
And here we are.
Here we are 12 months later.
Amazing. So, since doing the course with us, what do you think your biggest achievement has been since you completed it?
Definitely opening up my own business. So
Yeah.
all abilities, cheer dance.
Plug.
Yeah, my biggest achievement, just a quick plug. Yeah, definitely opening up my own business has been my biggest achievement. And there wasn't anything like this in Adelaide that offered cheerleading and dance for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
So I thought better jump on that bandwagon. And here we are a year later. Well, I did the course in January last year and I opened in July.
Pretty much a year ago.
Yeah, so the business has only been open for 6 months, but I've been connecting with you for a year now, which is really exciting. So yeah, that's probably my biggest achievement.
And an amazing achievement because only months in, you had your classes booked out, essentially. You've got people on waiting lists now, which is amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, well,
Very exciting.
I knew there was a demand for it, for sure. I just didn't realize how quickly it would grow, and that's amazing. So now I've opened up lots more classes this year, which start in February, which we're so excited for and anxious. But yeah, no, it's really cool.
Very, very cool. Okay, what do you think the biggest takeaway you could have had from the course was? What's the thing that you've, I guess, found the most helpful, or something that's really stuck with you?
Yeah, well, I guess I've only had personal experience with disability growing up with my brothers and their support workers, their therapists and their friends. But I've never been involved with disability in a professional setting. So I think the biggest takeaway when I did the Dance for Inclusion workshop with you was how to interact with people with disabilities in that setting, at me as the teacher. And as expected, it came naturally, but I was really nervous for it because, I'd never done it before, and I feel like everybody would be feeling the same. But I guess that workshop was really just the icing on the cake, the cherry on top of the cake, that really solidified that this is what I should be doing. And it was really great to put all the theory that I learned with you the day before put it into practice, and, my own personal knowledge as well. That was definitely my biggest takeaway. So, yeah.
So what Alana's talking about there is that as part of the instructor course, we not only have the online training, but also our Dance for Inclusion workshops, which luckily when Alana was doing it was pre-COVID, and that was actually in person. So it was 2 days in Sydney where we did some theory, some practical, and then some work with our students. So that was really awesome to see you working with them as well. There's quite a few people out there going, oh, I do a little bit of dancing, I do a little bit of teaching, I love working with people with disabilities, but I don't really know how to mesh that. Why do you think that people who are thinking about maybe doing the course should go ahead and give it a go?
I mean, 12 months ago, I was in that same situation. So like, I had my experience with disability, experience with dance, had no idea how to measure it. So
right.
I think the first thing that drew me to this course, and mind you, I'm from Adelaide. I flew to Sydney just for this course for a week.
She did.
So everyone was from New South Wales in the course that I did, and I was the only outsider. So it must be good for me to fly all the way to Sydney. Yeah, so what the deciding factor was for me, I just read up all about it online and had a chat with Miranda before I went over. And it was, it just seemed so personable, and that you were surrounded by people who were genuine and who really wanted to make a difference in the disability sector through performing arts.
Yeah.
And, when I got there, it was just a really humble environment, and there were so many different people with so many different backgrounds, and it was really great to share stories and to just get feedback off of each other and hear about other people's experiences, which was really nice. And I've kept in contact with these people ever since. So like I said, it's been 12 months, and we still chat, offer each other advice, feedback, anything. And I think that's the great thing about this course is after you're finished the workshop and the theory side, that it doesn't stop there. You get constant support from all the other instructors around Australia, but also with you, Miranda. There's constant training, constant opportunities for development. I know how to do keyword sign now. I didn't know how to do that before, which is so much fun. I did it when I was little with my brothers, but I didn't really remember much. So now we do a lot of keyword sign together. And yeah, just like constant training and advice and support, from finishing the course then to starting my business in 6 months. Like, it's a lot. And, it was really helpful to have Miranda and the other instructors there to just, if I have a quick question or if I'm freaking out or whatever, they can just help me because, Miranda's done this for 10 plus years. So she has lots of experience, and I felt really comfortable being around you just because you've done it. And whatever question I might have, I know that you could answer it. And even if you couldn't, you would find out. So
yeah,
the support was the big thing for me.
That's my favorite part coming out of deciding to turn performability into a licensed program has been the same thing, having you guys and now having this amazing support network of teachers where we can pull from each other, and we all come from different backgrounds. So we've got our speech therapists, we've got our pure dance teachers, we've got people who are more into musical theatre and music, and primary school teachers. So it's really it's been an awesome kind of thing that's just naturally happened, that we've now got this great bunch of people.
Absolutely. And I obviously had quite a bit of experience with disability before, but there were people in that course that hadn't. And I felt like they took away, I mean, I can't speak for them, but they took away a lot from what we had to say and what everyone else had to say, because like you said, we've all come from different backgrounds. So if someone is thinking of doing this course and they only have dance experience or they only have disability, like that's okay, that's fine, because you come into this course as a beginner, as does everybody, and we all learn together, and we keep learning. It's 12 months in and I'm still learning.
We're always still learning.
Yeah, exactly.
We're constantly learning. We love it. All right. What is the hardest thing or the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome since completing the course? Dun, dun, dun.
Oh gosh. Probably just actually starting it, like starting the business. So
Yeah.
whether you're from an existing club and you just want to implement this program, or you're starting up from scratch like me, the biggest challenge is going from A to B. So I did the course, came back home to Adelaide. Great. Now what?
Yep.
So, I wrote down everything I needed to do, which I shouldn't have done because that was
Can be
so
overwhelming.
And it's just me. I didn't have anyone to help me either. Like here, obviously I had you for support. But yeah, so the biggest challenge was doing all the marketing, the website, figuring out a name. That was actually quite difficult.
That's a big one.
Promoting, word of mouth. I mean, I don't know what it's like in other states, but in Adelaide especially, it's all word of mouth, whether it's in the disability sector, whether if it's, dance, performing arts, or even swimming, sport, OT, music lessons, whatever it might be, it's all word of mouth. And yes, like there's advertising around, like there is everywhere, social media and, but yeah, word of mouth is a big one. And Adelaide is quite a small city. And yeah, so, starting from scratch was pretty difficult, but it was a really great challenge. There wasn't anything that existed like this in Adelaide. So I was up for the challenge and the passion was definitely there for me. So yeah, I, just spent so long, and I even I remember speaking to you, Miranda, thinking, oh my gosh, admin, teaching, promotion. I need like 50 of me at once.
There was one day that you called me from bed and I was like, and how are you going? And you're like, it's overwhelming.
Are you in
so
bed?
much happening.
It's 12 p.m. No. So another challenge would definitely be delegating. Like I've spoken to Miranda so many times, and I'm such a perfectionist and I want to do it all myself, but you can't. So you got to trust other people, and you have to build your support network and, delegate and trust others. So there have been quite a few challenges in starting up. But, if you have the passion and you have the willingness to put in the hours, obviously not paid, to build this up, then you'll succeed. The passion just has to be there. That's all.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We've talked about that before, that I'm still struggling to accept as not so much a perfectionist, but someone that just thinks that no one else can do it as passionately as me. I really struggle to delegate things. And one of the biggest things I learned last year was, if there's something that someone else can do better, or there's something that you don't like enjoying, you should try and delegate that as much as you can. But it's hard.
Invoicing. Hate it.
I like it. I actually don't mind it. That's funny.
No, I'm done.
In saying that, that brings me quite swiftly into, is there anything that you would do differently?
Yes. Yes, I would 110% invest in an invoicing platform. I was doing it all manually, and that's just dumb.
Yeah. Makes it hard.
Invest in, like, what I would do differently is either invest in programs that, like, just client programs that have
like a management software.
Yeah, all that kind of thing. Or invest in a staff member that can do all that for you.
Yeah.
Or both. So this year I have done that, but I did not last year.
Yay.
And I didn't sleep. But that's okay. It's fine. We learn.
And it means that you've now got more time to spend your energy on things that you're really good at improving, like the actual classes that you offer and the programs and things, and having someone else to do the paperwork side.
And I have so much time to go out to schools now. I do school workshops. I go to day option programs as well. One is an hour away, and I do that on a Friday morning, and that's a fun time. So I have so much more time for other things.
Yay. Okay, I've got one more question for you until the fun ones. Do you have, or of course you do, what are your future goals for your business? Where do you see All Abilities Cheer and Dance in 5 years' time?
Oh, 5 years, I don't know, but still going, and I haven't die from
Yeah.
exhaustion. No. No,
It's going to be
we'll still be up and
flourishing.
running. Yes, we'll be flourishing. We'll have so many more locations. At the moment, we have, how many do we have? 1, 2, 6. We have 6 locations.
In a year.
We have
So
one location in, and one of those is performability, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
So I just want to have more locations, and I'm also affiliated with Special Olympics Australia. So with that comes with, teaching their dance teams and offering them opportunities to perform. And we will be competing in Tasmania next year, which is really exciting. And eventually I would love to compete at Dance Worlds in Florida under the Special Olympics section. So you have to be affiliated with Special Olympics Australia to be able to qualify for that section. So that is the ultimate goal, post-COVID, of course.
Yeah.
But yes, long-term, just to build up, have more locations and keep this running, and hopefully inspire other people to keep it running, because there are other companies in Adelaide that are starting to include inclusive programs and all ability programs, and I think that's amazing, and I really want it to grow.
Yay. Beautiful. Well, before we wrap it up, I'm going to ask you 3 fun questions. What is your favorite? Sorry?
The questions before weren't fun? What?
I mean, they were fun. They were fun. I've lost my page, but I'm going to remember. What is your favorite warm-up song to use in class at the moment?
Favorite warm-up song? Probably, definitely Uptown Funk, but
always
the
a favorite
Kids Bop version. The Kids Bop version is just a fun time. All round, doesn't matter what age.
Brilliant. You mentioned that you now know some key signs. So what is your favorite key sign or sign language that you know?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Well, we in class we play a game we like to call the ball game.
Yay.
So ball game. I also like to do what's wrong. Because sometimes the kids will just won't do something correct, perfect, and they'll get all upset with themselves. So I'll be like, what's wrong? It's fine.
Yeah, that's a really sweet one.
Relax.
Beautiful.
And I'll always finished, because that has solidified, we're done. Yeah. Everyone just calms down. They get a sticker. I do a sticker. So we're finished, time for a sticker.
Great.
And then everyone calms down. It's great.
I love it. My favorite one at the moment is drag queen. So it's the hair and then the crown. Drag queen. Love that one.
I do enjoy that. It works with your hairstyle at the moment.
It does. My very, very last question for you to wrap us up, before you go off to your other many amazing interviews and crazy things you're doing today, is, do you have a funny or a success story about one of your students so far?
Oh, yeah, I do actually. So I teach a solo class, and this girl is 7, and she is crazy. She loves to run around, make a joke. We have so much fun together. And her parents tell me that she's really shy and anxious and reserved at school or in her everyday life, basically, except at home or at dance. And I just don't believe the parents, because I haven't seen that side of her. She has autism. And one day the parents came to class. This was probably our week 6 or the 6th lesson or something like that. And the parents said, she's starting to, open up at school. She goes to the toilet by herself now at school. She, puts her hand up and asks a question in front of everybody, all these things that they've never seen her do. And she's 7. And they've put that down to her self-confidence being built up in dance. And that is the best thing any teacher can hear, whether it's, a person with disability or without. It's just really special to hear that. So that's probably the one that's stuck with me. And you know what? There's little wins that you have every day. We have such an inclusion-based class, but it's not just for the students, it's for the parents and the support workers as well.
Yeah.
They all come. And in my classes, I say there needs to be at least one guardian or support worker per person, and they just sit and watch, and if they need to intervene, they will. But mainly they just sit and watch, and they chat to each other, and now they have this great support network that they didn't have before. You know, they can share the same interests, and, you know, they have a child or a client with a disability. So I think that's a big thing as well, you know, starting this business. And, you know, it all started with you and in performability. So I literally can't thank you enough, because, you know, the students are getting this, the parents and support workers are getting this. It's like a win-win for all.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things that I took from when we started, was that without knowing, we'd created this support network, and I was hearing the parents talking during class or after class about the struggles that they were all going through, and then they had each other to bounce things off, whereas they might not have known as many parents going through the same things before, or talking about, at the time, the NDIS had just sort of swapped over, and they all had a lot to say. we won't say what we have to say about, but there was a lot of things that they had to say, and questions, and they had each other, and it was like, oh, this is like a real community thing. And it was so beautiful to be more than just a dance class. I think in the end it was like, wow, we've got this awesome community, and I'm so excited and thrilled that you've taken our community to more places. It's very beautiful and very exciting, and you're doing such amazing work. So yay!
Woo. Yeah, it's a fun time.
Well, thank you so much again for spending your morning or afternoon with me.
Thanks for having me.
And I will see you at our next training session next week.
Yay.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.